with all the hassle that he's had this week. Roger Black, as I explained to you, not selected for the European Championships last Monday. When the team was announced, the selectors decided to go for Solomon Wariso, who had finished in the third optional spot in the championships, the 3A's championships the day before. Roger was absolutely disgusted with the decision, shocked to his boots, and after confiding with all his family and friends as far away as David Jenkins in the USA, Mike Whittingham, his coach and manager, his great friends Chris Akabusi, John Ridgen, and a host of others, he decided that he would prefer not to go to the European Championships in Budapest and compete in the 4x400 meters relay only, go to the World Cup and do the relay only, and compete.
Beaten into 5th place.
Well, the athletes are stripped off now for this 400 metres. We're concentrating Roger Black there, but don't let's forget the other 7 men in this race. Jared Deacon starts in lane 1 for Morpeth, the 22-year-old who was 7th in the Gateshead 300 metres a couple of weeks ago. Only made the semi-finals at the 3As last week. Would have been disappointed with that. Marc Foucault, the top French 400-metre man, starts in lane 2, just inside Black. He was 7th in Paris in their own Grand Prix meeting earlier on this week in 45.8. Black himself is in 3, and of course he found really good form last week despite the 4th place. 44.7 he ran in the 3A's championships, and he felt that that indicated a return to very good form, that he was peaking well for Budapest, and just could not believe that the selectors hadn't given him some credit for his 13 years of experience, 10 major championship gold medals to his name, and a man who's leaving the sport very, very sadly, in my opinion, with rather a bitter taste in his mouth. Ewan Thomas is in the lane outside him in lane 4, the 24-year-old 3A's champion. That's Jared Deacon. Very inexperienced compared with so many of the men outside him. Looks like we are going to get that line up after all. Deacon there in probably the biggest race of his life, and I'm sure all the men in this race will remember this race for the very reasons we've been talking about. Roger Black, a living legend. Foucault in 2 there, there's Black. Had 1 or 2 mediocre races at the start of the season. That's what probably tilted the balance as far as the selectors were concerned, but really when he runs 44.71 and improves by the equivalent of 3 or 4 metres in any previous race in this season, you know that Roger is getting it right. He's the Olympic silver medalist, he's a World Championship silver medalist from years gone by. There's Ewan Thomas, man who was 5th in the Olympic Games, the British record holder with 44.36. He starts in lane 4, the reigning 3A's champion, beat Michael Johnson in Oslo a month ago. Still coached by Mike Smith, ironically the man who looked after Roger Black for the first half of his career. Mark Richardson, a 26-year-old man from Windsor Slough and Eton Club. Again, the winner in Oslo this year, behind and in front of Michael Johnson and Ewan Thomas. Mark Hilton, the youngster who is a training partner of Roger Black and Mark Richardson in the winter months, is only 21. He starts in 6. Robert Makowiak of Poland in 7. And incidentally, Poland in the Goodwill Games last week ran a very, very strong time, which averaged out at 44.5 per man. So it's not a foregone conclusion that Britain will win the 4x400 metres in Budapest, which puts extra weight on Black's decision. We had a quick look there at Sandelai Pereira of Brazil out in lane 8. Well, Roger Black already signed up a contract, we understand, been snapped up by British National Television to work on their athletics coverage for this year. And Black, a man I was saying to Andy a few minutes ago when we were off air that I think he'll either have a blinder here tonight, a fabulous run, or a very poor one. He must be tired after the sort of week he's had.
The emotional strain, the draining. Let's see how strong, how much is left in his legs.
Black in 3, Thomas in 4, Richardson in 5. Those are the big 3. Away okay there is Roger Black. Ewan Thomas got a very good start in lane 4. Thomas, the man who always blasts his way down the back straight, never a man to hold back, really makes every single stride count. And Black has gone off quickly. Black has gone off possibly the quickest. He's almost right up on Ewan Thomas as they approach 200 metres. Going strongly on the outsides, Pereira of Brazil, but forget about him. Black leads at the moment. Around the crown of the final bend of his career. Black leads. Thomas outside him. Richardson has got a lot of work to do in lane 5 as well. Now Thomas is beginning to come back at Black. Has Black got it in his legs? Driving hard for the line. Look at Mark Richardson, the young man that many feel can be the world #1. He's going to win here in Sheffield. Thomas 2nd, Black 3rd. Pereira, I think, in lane 8 takes 4th. The time 45.05. Relative was a well-judged race by Mark Richardson, as I think possibly Roger Black and Ewan Thomas inside him ran the finishing straight strength out of themselves over the first 300, maybe going out too quickly, but that was a typical race from Roger Black, giving it 101%. It's no shame on him not to have won his final race. He said earlier in the weekend that he didn't want this race set up for him. He didn't want to have the others allow him to win. He would have absolutely hated that scenario. He got the scenario tonight that he wanted, a good, hard race against good, honest runners. That's the way it's been throughout his career, and it's lovely to see Roger Black going out with a smile on his face, albeit in controversial circumstances, but with two marvellous British runners, the best two in Europe, let's say now, in front of him, and they're from Great Britain as well. He passes the mantle on.
Well, he ran that first 200 on emotion as well as strength. I think Ewan Thomas making another storming start, but coming around into that straight. Mark Richardson on the outside of them had the edge, and Black, so often during his years of his career, he's reminding me of a horse. He's been the form horse, but this time, and the last time, he had to yield.